So ever since I made this video on 90-day strategy or 90-day blueprint for UPSC Prelims examination, well, we have been getting a lot of inquiries, and now I know, I'm sure, that many of you would be joining us for this Phoenix batch. Okay, many of you would be joining us. So therefore, to you guys who have joined us, I am going to give you a message so that before you begin with this 90-day journey, you keep in mind these 4 principles. If you'll keep in mind these 4 principles, well, this 90-day journey would be easy for you, fruitful for you, and would deliver results. Trust me on this. I take pride in this batch. I take pride in Phoenix batch because I have put in my all while designing this batch. If you'll follow this batch, nothing can stop you from clearing this time's prelims. Nothing can stop you, provided you follow this batch to its very core, religiously. I use this word. This is my favorite word, okay? If you follow this batch religiously, nothing can stop you until or unless there is some unforeseen circumstances. But, well, these unforeseen circumstances are rare. You have to be sure that you clear this time's prelims exam. Okay? So follow this batch to its very core. This is my message to all of you who are going to be with us on this 90-day journey. All right? Now, about those 4 principles. So I'll take only a couple of minutes or some more minutes than couple, okay? But I'm just going to take a few minutes of your time and I will deliver you or give you these 4 principles. Please keep these 4 principles in mind. Please keep these 4 principles in mind while beginning or before beginning this 90-day journey, and stick to these 4 principles for this 90 days time period. Okay? All right, so here it goes. Now, principle number 1, well, the self-study principle. You see, it has been our philosophy. It is my philosophy and my team's philosophy that more than watching the lectures passively, well, reading stuff yourself helps you retain the information in a better way. What I mean by this is that, well, if you are going to prepare for this prelims exam with a proper comprehensive crash course and all these things, there are so many crash courses floating in the market. If you're going to go towards that, well, these crash courses won't help you. What we believe is that, well, you have to study yourself way more than these crash courses would allow you. Self-study is more important, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that in this batch, in Phoenix batch, there won't be any lectures. There would be lectures, but those are revision lectures. Mind you, let me tell this to you in advance. This is a revision batch, an exhaustive revision batch. Of course, there are going to be lectures, but the timetable is designed in such a way that we would make you, force you to do stuff on your own. Of course, if you have any doubts, we are here to help you out. If you need any mentorship, we are here to provide that. But we would also make you work on your own also. Again, that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be any lectures. There are going to be significant lectures, MCQ discussion lectures. Okay? But still, because of this self-study principle and because this philosophy is very dear to me and I have experienced this with so many students, it has been more than a decade of me mentoring many UPSC aspirants. So I know what works and what doesn't. Okay? I'm not being pompous or I'm not boasting, but I just know certain things. Therefore, I'm confident. Please make sure that you do spend a lot of time reading the notes that we are going to provide to you. Of course, those notes would contain a lot of infographics for you to retain that information. A lot of mind maps, infographics, everything would be there. But do spend some time absorbing the information that we have discussed in the lectures. Self-study is also important. So apart from watching the lectures, do spend some time absorbing it, reading it on your own. Okay? And in case you encounter any doubts, you just have to communicate it to us. Those WhatsApp groups would be active 24/7 where you will be enrolled. Plus every week, twice every week or once every week, we will have a Google Meet, you and me one-on-one. We will talk about certain things. If you have any problems, you would communicate that to me, right? So please make sure that you are not just a passive consumer of lectures. Make sure you're an active consumer of lectures, okay? You consider these lectures as a dialogue rather than a monologue from us. Make it a dialogue. Ask your doubts in the WhatsApp groups. As soon as they encounter or as soon as you encounter them, ask those doubts. It is very important. And keep in mind the self-study principle. Okay? After lectures, do study on your own. After whatever targets we have given to you, well, you follow those targets on your own with proper discipline. So we'll make sure that you're disciplined, but still, some things only you can do. So please do them. This is principle number 1. Then principle number 2. Well, learning and writing. You see, I have been talking to so many students after this 90 days video, and many of these students have told me that, sir, yes, you are going to provide us with all the notes, but I have this habit of writing while learning. Some people have this habit of scribbling in their own diary and learning whatever they are reading or learning whatever they are watching. Yes, in fact, well, I am one of those some people. In my entire study career that I've had, well, I was that one person who used to write and learn. And I personally feel it is a useful habit. Now, I'm not asking you to make all the notes by writing because we are going to provide you with exhaustive notes. Okay. We are going to provide you with all the notes that you need. So you don't have to worry about the notes part. But this is my small advice. Maintain a small diary of sorts. Okay. Just buy a small diary. And when you're watching the lecture, sometimes there is some information that might occur to me in the lecture. That information is not in your notes, but it just occurred to me, and in my attempt to explain things, in my attempt to make things easier for you, I might give you some extra piece of information. Write it down. Sometimes there is some information in the notes, but when you write it in your own words, in a skeletal form, make sure it is a small diary. Okay? It is a small diary and you write it in skeletal form, point by point. Don't make big notes. Very quickly make the notes. Okay? Very quickly. And by notes, I mean just your scribbling. But maintain that diary. Okay? Whenever you're watching a lecture, MCQ lecture, or whenever you're reading the notes, if you feel that this is something important and I need to remember it till my prelims examination, write it down in brief, in extreme brief. Okay? But write it down. I'll tell you how it will help. So you'll write it down. When you write, things get absorbed in your brain. Okay? So you'll be able to retain this information for longer periods of time. That would happen. But at the end of these 90 days, you will have this one diary, which you can read very quickly in 5 to 10 minutes just before the exam or 2 days before the exam, just to brush up those concepts that you have written down. So learn and write. Even if you're not habitual of doing this, well, maintain this diary. Trust me this one time. Maintain this small diary. Again, people who hate writing, they can avoid this diary altogether. Nothing would be, you won't miss out on anything. Not anything. I mean, anything. You won't miss out on anything. Notes would be given by us. Everything would be given by us. Still, if you do this one extra thing, it will help you out in future. Okay. So this is principle number 2. Then principle number 3, well, it's related to PYQs. Now, if you have watched this 90-day study plan video, 90 days blueprint video, if you have not, please watch it again. I mean, not again, please watch it and then come to this video. But if you have already watched this video, well, let me tell this to you, that through this batch, Phoenix batch, you are going to practice more than 7,000 MCQs. That is a given. And apart from these 7,000 MCQs, we are going to practice PYQs also. But remember, we are going to focus more on past 5 years PYQs, not more than that. Of course, we are going to provide you PYQs even before that time period as well. But our focus would be on last 5 years. Because if you have noticed prelims examination for quite some time, for many years, you would have noticed that the pattern of questions has changed. So all these 7,000 MCQs are also based on the pattern that UPSC is using for these past 5 years. So our focus area would be past 5 years PYQs. You will be given past 5-year PYQs. We'll discuss them also. But the other 7,000 MCQs would be based on this pattern only. You understand? So you will be practicing MCQs based on UPSC's pattern. Okay, so just though all PYQs are important, information covered in these PYQs is important, but our laser focus should be on past 5 years PYQs. Just remember this fact. Okay, and last, a general principle, principle number 4 is, well, maniacal sense of urgency. If you have watched that video, 20-minute video, 20-25 minutes, well, you would have realized, because I discussed this in that video also. I gave the example of, well, the legendary or infamous Elon Musk, right? And he says that whenever you want to achieve something big, you have to move towards that goal with a maniacal sense of urgency. So while following whatever targets we are going to give you a detailed schedule, okay? Daily targets would be there, weekly targets would be there, monthly targets would be there. It is a target-based approach. While you are covering all the targets, make sure you cover all the targets, by the way. And while you are covering all the targets, just cover those things with a sense of urgency. Again, the phrase sense of urgency is important. Okay, sense of urgency. I'm not saying that you should be anxious, panicky, you are panicking while studying. That is a big no-no. Don't do that. But don't be complacent. Okay, 90 days is not that much time. Don't be complacent, don't be lazy, don't procrastinate, don't be lethargic. Okay, so just make sure that you have this sense of urgency at the back of your mind. Some sense of urgency that you have to finish these things quick. Not too quick in a panicky mode, but quick. That is important. Okay, so these are the 4 principles that you have to keep in mind. I'll repeat them again. Number 1, spend some more time self-studying apart from whatever targets we give you. Number 2, maintain a small diary, make skeletal notes, skeletal. Okay. Number 3, the focus area as far as PYQs and MCQs are concerned. And number 4, sense of urgency. Now, the batch is going to start on 23rd January, but well, people have started enrolling now. And in a couple of days, I'll also share with you the next 14-day plan, okay, or the plan for first 14 days in this 90-day journey. So stay tuned for those first 14 days because, well, we are starting with economics. So in the first 14 days, we'll cover economics and current affairs also, okay? So I'll share that with you, but my advice to you would be that take a call now. Let's begin on this 90-day journey, keeping these 4 principles in mind. By the way, the schedule for the entire 90 days is given in the pinned comment, okay, in the comment section below. So do check that out as well. All right. Okay, then. I won't take much of your time, but just it's a small request. If you're joining us, keep these 4 principles in mind. Thank you, everyone.